much money and chasing your dreams. DJ B turn to place everything. Marriage and relationships are not about rings. Trying to raise a family is so insane. He tries to keep politics off the brain. But sitting in the questions, he might just scream. Business and entrepreneurship is his thing. There is society, then there is reality.
That's my dad. That's my dad.
Welcome. I am BBT. And you can ask me anything. Let's have real conversations. Let's talk about life. Let's get it in. I have to get out of here, so I won't be before you long. Before I do, I wanted to go through a couple quick tweets that I saw today, and then we could jump right into the show. As far as the topic, how to keep winning in life despite what's put in front of you. So, all right, first tweet. Elon Musk from Say Cheese. Well, I guess this was kind of retweeted, but this is where I pulled it from. Say Cheese says, Elon Musk has fired Vijaya Gadde. I hope I said that right. Head of Legal Policy, Trust, and Safety, who made the decision to permanently suspend Donald Trump from Twitter. So very interesting. Elon Musk is starting to take over of Twitter. He's tweeting a lot about going to the office. I'm not sure what to believe because there's so many reports of him planning to fire so many people. I don't know if it's just trolling or if it's factual, but at the end of the day, he's starting. So it's going to be very interesting. Will he bring people like Donald Trump back? Yay, back. Will he start to bring people back? Will he start to really take a stance on freedom of speech? Will we be able to say anything? Will those restrictions be lifted? So I'm very interested in seeing where that goes. It's just interesting to me on Twitter. They actually show porn. But if you, I guess, say the wrong thing, you can be removed. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out. A lot of the folks on the left are really nervous about Musk being in charge of Twitter because how powerful that platform is. If you recall, it had a lot of weight on deciding the last election. So very interesting to see what Musk's plans are. There's going to be a lot of news about that, and I may be talking about that a lot because I think that's very important for us to understand and be ahead of what's happening at Twitter. Second tweet, Gisele Bündchen just filed for divorce from Tom Brady. Now, I'm definitely not no celebrity gossiper, but just interesting. Obviously, I do watch football. It's crazy that Tom Brady did come back another year, but apparently once that decision was made and it was announced, then his wife started saying, hey, I think we might get divorced. So I don't know if he came back because he wanted to get the divorce or what, but it's interesting that she's now filed. So maybe we might see Brady for another 10 years. The next tweet is Black men stay powerful. I love this because as a Black man, we need more motivation in terms of mainstream things. There's not a lot of TV shows, series, movies that really promote strong Black heterosexual man. When I was coming up, there was a lot of TV shows that showed you imagery of being a good dad, being head of household, being there for your family. And it's not a lot of that right now. And so that tweet just kind of reminds me, we need to stay up. We need to support each other as a Black man, as a father, as a husband, as a business owner. I definitely want to encourage all the Black men to stay up, stay powerful, find your motivation within, and then encourage others because we need it. So definitely that's the tweets for today. for the day. So let's jump right into the topic. When I get off of here, I may probably take a nap and then I probably go to the gym. I need to run by the Halloween store to find a costume. I actually ordered one, but I'm not sure if it's going to get here by tomorrow. So I need something. I'm going to a Halloween party at a friend's house, and I'm gonna need something to wear. So I'm gonna run out and do that hopefully today, unless I get a confirmation that the costume will arrive tomorrow. But I don't think it's going to arrive tomorrow. So anyway, so let's jump right into the topic: how to keep winning. Hold on one second. How to keep winning in life, no matter what is put in front of you. Quick stats on me: I graduated from college in 4 years after getting a grant, and all of my college was covered. I wasn't even planning to go to college. I was actually skipping a class, me and a buddy, Latik, and we ran into the band instructor. He was trying to encourage us. We were cool with him, so he wasn't going to tell on us. We were skipping class, and basically he was like, "Did you know about this grant?" And no, I didn't know about it. And so I went to the office, got some information, filled it out, and next thing you know, I was going to any college in the state of Maryland for free. I got accepted to College Park, University of Maryland College Park. But because I didn't feel like I was even ready for college in general, I decided at the last minute to go to Bowie State. I felt more comfortable going to a HBCU, historically black college and university. Seemed like there was going to be more parties. Boy, was I wrong. But anyway, I went there, got a free ride after college. Well, during college, before I graduated, I got an internship. I went to the career service offices. It was pretty whack during my time at Bowie State. I hear it's a lot better. The school has a lot more money than it had when I went. But basically, I went to the career services office. I was looking for an internship because I had been hearing that's what you need to have before you graduate to find a job. So I went. They put me in touch with a lady at the University System of Maryland in Annapolis, Maryland. I got an internship, and that was a great experience for me because the lady that was my boss was very connected, and the nurse, I'm sorry, not the nurse, the secretary that worked there, her husband had a key position at the University of Baltimore. So I realized as I was graduating, it wasn't going to be a lot of jobs out there for me with a marketing degree with no work experience. So I knew I needed to go back and get a master's degree. I told her in conversation, she connected me with him. He got me some study materials. I took the test. I got into the school. I graduated with my MBA degree in a year, a little over a year, because a lot of my courses transferred over from my undergrad. So that was that. Fast forward, before I was graduating, I thought that I was going to get a lot of job opportunities because my first flight was when I was 21. See, we didn't have a lot of money to travel. It's so interesting. My first flight was 21 and it was paid for by a potential employer. My kids' first flight, both of them was at 2 months, and they have been in other countries. They've been in more countries than most people. So, but anyway, um, I uh, had, I thought that I was going to get the pick of the litter. Like I'm getting an MBA degree. I didn't know anybody my age with an MBA degree. I was the first in my family to can really do that. And so I'm thinking, oh man, I'm gonna make so much money. I graduate and it was 2001. President Bush Jr. was the president. I guess we were in a recession and there were not a lot of jobs. And so I never forget, I went to my grandmother, almost ready to cry, like, I can't find a job. And she told me, she said, why don't you start your own business? And I thought she was crazy because at that particular time, every periodical I was reading in order to have success as a black person was to climb the corporate ladder. So that's what I was focused on. I had no clue, no idea, no desire to run a business. And so basically, I ended up taking a job at Fannie Mae as a contractor, making half of what I thought I was going to make. And the crazy part with that is that in the contractor role, one of the benefits of Fannie Mae was that at that time was you get parking for free. and I didn't get parking. And if you know anything about DC, there's nowhere to park. So I used to get so many tickets. I used to leave work. I used to park like around the corner. Um, I would like try to park in residentials. I would get tickets all the time. At one time, I actually left work and I had a boot on my car. So it was a lot of drama, but eventually I worked my way up, got full time, then worked my way up again. I became a deal structuring manager, and I was making pretty good money. The crazy thing is, I was one of the ones when I was working in corporate America, I was like, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do to get your job? Talking to my boss, just always trying to figure out what's next. He would tell me, I would do it, but it took forever to get promoted. It took forever to get more money. But I climbed it slowly but surely and did pretty good. But I used to go to lunch with about 8 to 10 guys. And our lunch sessions, we would go to like an eating place around, the work site. And when we were at lunch, the sessions were always bitch sessions. And one time I said out loud, why don't you quit? If you don't like it here, why don't you quit? I didn't say it like that. I was a lot more pleasant. It was older gentlemen, so I was being respectful. But I remember they looked at me like I was crazy. Why you want to quit? I ain't quitting. I drive a nice car, I have a nice house. My wife ain't gonna let me quit, so forth and so on. And I never forget, I said to myself, well, that ain't gonna be me. I'm a if I'm not happy, I'm out of here. And lo and behold, I got to a point where I wasn't happy. And so I started looking. I found another job with the regulator, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac. And not only did I find another job, I found a job that paid me significantly more. So I left. Funny thing about that, I told all my family and friends that I was only going to be there for 1 year because during that time, I had met someone, my future business partner. We negotiated where I would come in, be a 50-50 owner, help her grow this home care business. So my plan wasn't to be, I just wanted to get out of Fannie Mae. I wanted to make more money, which I did, but I did not want to be there that long. Um, I told people and they thought I was crazy because at that particular junction, the goal, especially growing up in the DC area, was to get you a good government job. And I had a pretty sweet position. I had a corner office. I literally could close my door, go on lunch breaks. I had it good. And at that time, I started selling real estate part time as well. So I had this new business coming up. I had this cozy job with benefits, making good money, and I was starting the home care, real estate, and that. And but I told people I didn't like the environment. I felt demotivated when I was going there. There's a lot of smart people making a lot of money, but it wasn't for me. So I told them I was leaving. Everyone thought I was crazy. They didn't think it was going to happen. 1 year later, I was out. Um, I'm saying all that to say, well, fast forward, I got married. And not only did I get married, I married the woman of my dreams. You may think that's cliche or you may think that's BS. It's not. I tell people I only had two girlfriends in my life, my first and my wife. If I don't feel it, I don't do it. And I was dating a lot. And I used to tell my friend, but. And she was like, you always got a but to everybody you dating. What's wrong? You ain't never gonna find nobody. I said, well, when I feel it, I know. And I never forget the first time I met my wife, I knew. And she made it pretty hard for me, but I overcame. We dated for 4 years, got engaged for almost two, got married. Had the first kid year after that, the second year, 3 years. 3 years after that. So I had a wife, two kids, a dog, a bird. And the crazy thing with my kids, before I had kids, I always said I wanted a nanny because I wanted to make sure that they always had the love and support while I'm working, my wife working. I don't want to put too much pressure on family when we were living in the Maryland, DC area. And so my kids have always had a nanny. And I struggled a lot. I struggled to a point where I didn't know where I was going to get the money to pay for gas. And I've never stopped paying my nanny. Even when things were extremely tight with me, I never stopped paying the nanny. And that was my commitment to my kids. My commitment was I'm going to sacrifice. You didn't ask to be here. I'm going to sacrifice whatever I got to give you the best love, support, opportunities to succeed. And so, once again, wife, kids, dog, bird, nanny, support, loving family. Um, both businesses I own 100%. That was a journey in its own story in itself and how that happened. But I was successful in buying out two business partners. I sold the business. Um, and right now, I got a pretty good life. I think it can always be better. I think with all of the changes, it's been a little overwhelming at times. I mentioned to you that I have dealt with a little bit of stress lately. But when I was on my last trip, I had really good conversation with my wife. I meditated a lot, did a lot of yoga, got massages, and I feel like I'm on the path to kind of getting through all the things that's transpiring. Because when you take on so much, when you have so many people depending on you, sometimes it can be overwhelming. But for me, I feel like I am on the right path to um, avoid those stressful situations. So definitely, man. I'm saying all this to say, I love my life. I really do. I think that part of what has given me the opportunity to have such an amazing life is that I take risks. Um, I go after what I want. And so let me not jump ahead of myself. Let me talk about these things of how to keep winning in life, no matter what put in front of you. And the first thing I would say is move daily. It's very, very important to focus on your health. It doesn't matter if you find the perfect person. It doesn't matter if you make a lot of money. If your health fails you, that's a problem. So I don't think you necessarily got to go and lift a lot of weights. I don't think you got to run miles. I don't think you got to ride your bike everywhere. I don't think you have to be in the treadmill for hours. I think that you have to mentally start to build up a habit of being active daily. And for me, I go to the gym, try to do yoga. I work out with my son, so I do a lot of things daily. I use my Apple Watch to kind of keep track of it, and then I reflect back week after week, and I see how often did I move for that week, and it helps me a lot. So I think that definitely, you want to move daily. Next, you want to make sure you start incorporating good eat healthy eating habits. Where I'm from, where I grew up, there were no Whole Foods or Trader Joe's. There were fast food restaurants, liquor stores, um, and so I think that a lot of that's changed. I mean, that was a long time ago, but you got to make sure that you're not eating out. At this point, I don't really eat fast food because I started to notice that it would do something to my body, and so I don't do it. So you just got to figure out healthy ways. I know that that could be more expensive, but I think coupled with moving daily and eating healthy, I think you're working towards um, making sure that you are incorporating a healthy lifestyle. Next is set goals, but don't cry if they don't happen when you want them to happen. I used to have a goal that I wanted to be a millionaire by the time I was 30. And because of that was my goal, I rushed and did a lot of stupid things. I bought a lot of properties because at the time, everything I was reading was real estate is going to be the way you build wealth. I was trading stocks. I invested in courses, was day trading, was investing for the long term, was doing a lot of different things. And I've been a part of a real estate collapse, a stock market collapse. And so I think that we got to be very careful putting these goals out there because a lot of times our goals are ego driven. I think, there was no reason why I needed to be a millionaire by the time I was 30. I wasn't even mentally ready to handle money at that point. It's a lot I still didn't know. I don't think it was necessarily a bad thing to have that goal because I think it pushed me to do things I did, and then I figured out a lot later. But for the most part, a lot of that by the time I was 30, that was ego driven. So I think that we got to be careful setting goals, or if we set a goal, we need to say why is that the goal, and then my the other part I said is you can't be frustrated when it doesn't happen when you want it to happen. Because what happens for a lot of people is that when that goal, when they don't meet that goal by that certain time frame, they give up and they stop doing it. So I think you have to understand, have an open mind. I'm going to set this goal. I am going to push for this date or this time frame. But if it don't happen, then I'm fine, because you got to believe in the universe. You got to believe in the higher thing that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. And oftentimes we want it when we want it, but we're not even ready for it. So yes, yes, yes. The next thing is accept responsibility over your life. I understand you may not have had your mom or your dad. You may have grew up with no money. Can't worry about that. Um, those we all go through something. And I think that one of the keys to accepting responsibility is saying, regardless of what I didn't have, I'm gonna focus on what I do have, and I'm gonna build on that. And I'm not going to compare myself to other people, because the moment you start comparing to other people, you don't understand their internal journey. You don't understand. You don't fully. You're not fully aware of what they got to go through when they look in the mirror. So you got to make your goal, and you got to accept responsibility of your life. I am in control of what I can control, and that's what I'm focused on, not anyone else. Next is create a daily winning habit. I talked about, for me, a perfect day for me is wake up, obviously, take a shower, do all that stuff, do a little bit of work, jump on YouTube, share my truth, go to the gym. Uh, Oftentimes, if I'm really rocking and rolling for the day, I'm not only going to do my 30 minutes at the gym, I'm gonna do some yoga, and then if time permits, if money is doing pretty good, I may get a massage, and then I'm usually in home in time. I'm at home in time to see the kids. Now that my son is in sports, I'm working him out, or we're going to a practice together. Using my daughter tags along. I get my daddy, my daughter time. If the wife is not working, I'll see her throughout the day. We talk, we chat while I'm working, because I work from home. Or if she works, once I complete my day, we talk at night and we interact then. But once I spend the time with the kids, I might go to the bar, catch a sporting event, and then get home in time, maybe watch a show, depending on how early it is or how tired I am. Watch that, talk to the wife, and I won the day. I got a shirt that I got on my site, say win the day. I think oftentimes we set these goals that we're going to do this in 6 months. We're going to do that in a year. We're going to do that in 5 years. I think that we need to break it down and basically have a plan for the day, have a routine for the day. And then when you go into bed, you say, did I achieve what I was supposed to achieve? Did I win the day? And I think that that will help you to win in life. You break it down to small, manageable parts, and winning a day is a you can manage that versus trying to win a month or win a year. So the next is accept that failure is going to happen. Yes, no matter what you do, I think you need to mentally say to yourself, this is a part of the process. I encourage you to read a lot of autobiographies, really study people who you look up to as successful, and you will find out they all went through their trials and tribulations. They all at times hit the bottom. It's a natural part of life. And so once you accept that, it won't be a hindrance for you to start, to put a plan in place to win. So definitely understand that shit is going to happen. Bad things are going to happen. But I think if you internalize that and you know that it's going to happen, it won't, like I said, it won't stop you from pushing forward. The next is commit to lifelong learning. For me, I encourage you to try to read as often as you can. Don't just be a consumer of social media, a consumer with YouTube. Actually use those platforms to learn something. Commit to if you're passionate about something, commit to an hour a day, an hour a week, where you're devoting to that thing that you enjoy doing, and then incorporate audiobooks, incorporate YouTube, incorporate things like that. Do a webinar, listen to a webinar, take a class on something that motivates you. So you should always be focused on always learning something, always trying to better yourself on a day-to-day basis. I think it's very important. I think that the more you're learning, the more you're going to stay motivated, and motivation is a big part of winning. Next is take risks. Obviously, self-explanatory. can't be afraid to jump out there because, um, you know, that's it. Take risks is pretty self-explanatory. You definitely just have to understand that whatever and going after what you want, that's also the key to winning, going after what you want. And in order for you to get what you want, you got to take some risks. You got to do some things that are uncomfortable. And so, therefore, take risks. Next is focus on balance. That's one of my strengths. I understand that I don't want to be all into too much. I want to kind of give a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. That's not to say that you don't focus on making that thing happen. But I think you got to understand that, if I give too much to my enjoyment of going out to the bar and I don't spend enough time with my kids, what do you think is going to happen? I'm a strain that relationship. So I got to give a little bit to my kids. But I also understand, like, I'm a big time thinker. My mind goes, 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 goes. So sometimes I got to slow it down. So I need a massage, or, because I work from home, I'm sitting on my butt, I'm typing away, I'm doing certain things like that. I need to be able to get out the house and actually interact with people. That's very important for me. So I need my bar time. So you got to balance what's important to you. You got to first understand and figure out what's important to you. Sometimes you may need a book. Sometimes you may need to take a trip. Sometimes you may need some alone time to figure out what is what is our what are the things that I enjoy doing. And then once you figure those out, you got to make time for it. Oftentimes, a lot of people, they are only focused on the family and they don't focus enough time on making money to give themselves the opportunity to spend more time with the family. So you got to figure out that balance. You got to focus on what's important, and then you got to manage all of it. Next is commit to something greater, faith. You know, I think part of the ability to take risks is having a belief that no matter what I do, I'm gonna be all right. I know something greater, something bigger, something more important's got my back. That's definitely me. I believe in God. I believe my grandmother is always guiding me, even though she's not here. So I am a type of person that no matter what I do, it's going to turn out for the best. That's my belief. That's my belief system. I definitely believe in a higher being. I believe in angels. I believe in all of that. And so you ain't got to have my belief system, but believe in something, because when it's all said and done, you may be doing all this, trying to get this money, trying to do that. But if you don't believe in something, you know, greater, then why are you doing it? The next is, and the last, I'm sorry, do the work. Do the work, do the work, do the work. I mean, ultimately, you want to get to a point where you're working smarter, not harder. But to get there, sometimes you got to do the work. I think about me just taking over my home care business, 100%. I had to kind of go back to the starting days when I used to do the spreadsheets for everything, because I need to fully understand what's happening at every given moment. And the interesting thing about that is when you do those little things, the work actually gets easier later, because now for me, I got a spreadsheet. I track this every week. So I see every aspect of the business. And so I know what's what. But it took a while to build it out, to prepare it, and different things like that. So do the work means, like, be prepared to work 12-hour days, 14, 15-hour days, but ultimately have a plan in place where that's not going to always be how you do things. It's You're setting yourself up to work less, but definitely you got to commit to the work, and you got to make sure that, um, yeah, that you can't have all these big goals. You can't win without a plan, and um, you can't do the plan without, well, you can't win without a plan, and you got to figure out how to execute the plan. And a big part of that execution is being willing to put in whatever hours are necessary to get it done. So there you go. Those are my tips to keep winning in life despite what is put in front of you, because the challenges are going to come, the obstacles are going to be there, the people you love the most are going to turn it back on you. You have to just say, hey, listen, I'm committed to this thing that I'm doing, and I'm going to get it done no matter what. And I'm going to have a smile on my face, and I'm going to take care of my health, and I'm going to be good. So If I missed anything, let me know. Let me know. I didn't want to take up this much time, but at the end of the day, you start talking and you go. I could get long winded sometimes. But anyway, listen. I hope that helped you. If I miss anything, definitely put it in the comments. Something I may miss. If you want me to expand on something, please let me know. But thank you. I hope that you have an amazing Friday, a great weekend, and peace.